So hello all. In the previous session, we talked about the place of supply of goods. Specifically, we talked about the general provisions in reference to fixing the place of supply, and specifically, we talked about the place of supply in reference to the goods. Now, today we will be discussing about how to fix the place of supply in reference to the services. So let us take up the services. Now, in the case of fixing the place of supply for the services, as you can see under Section 12 of the IGST Act 2017, it is saying that when the location of the supplier of the services and the location of the recipient of the services both belongs to India, then the place of supply of services is governed by the general provisions and the specific provisions. So, in specifically, we have two criterias for placing up the place of supply or fixing or determining the place of supply, that is the general provisions and the specific provisions. So when we talk about the place of supply in reference to the services, so we have to refer these general provision and the specific provision for this reference. Now we'll take up the general and the specific provisions in detail in the next slide. First, let us understand what do you mean by the location of recipient of services. Like recipient here means the one who is receiving the services, and how to determine the location. What is the basic requirement, basic criteria to fix up the location? First, let us have the understanding of that, and then we will move ahead with the general and the specific provisions that how the supply will be, place of supply will be determined. So let us see the location of recipient of services here. Now, first point, it says that where supply is received at a place of business for which registration has been obtained. So we are talking specifically about the place of supply, about about the person who has been registered. So it says where supply is received at a place of business. So it means that the supply of services has been received at a place of business, and that place of business is already registered, for which registration has already been obtained. Then in that case, the location of such place of business will be considered as the location of recipient of services. So first point clearly says that if the supply of services has been received at a place of business, and that place of business is a registered place of business for the business, then that location will be considered as the location of recipient of services. Fine. So this point simply says that if any person is receiving the services, and the place where he is receiving the services is a registered place for his business, then that will become the location of the recipient of services. Then next point says where a supply is received at a place other than the place of business for which registration has been obtained. So it means that the first point is not qualifying, like the place which is the main business place and it has been registered is not applicable here. Like the supply of services is being done to any other place which is other than the place of business for which registration has been obtained. So it simply means that this is not the main place of business, but the registration for this place has already been done by the recipient. Then a fixed establishment elsewhere, that is to say a fixed establishment elsewhere, the location of such fixed establishment will be considered as a location of recipient of services. That means now we need to make a difference between the first and the second point. First point says that it is the place where the supply of services has been received, and that is the place of business for which the registration has been obtained, then this will be considered as the location of the recipient of services. Other point says when it is not the main place for business and the supply has been received at some other place, and for that place also the registration has been obtained by the recipient, then that location will be considered as the location of recipient of services. Then third point, it says where a supply is received at more than one establishment, which simply says that the supply, the person who is supplying the services has given the supply to more than one location. In that case, whether the supply of service, whether the place of business or fixed establishment, whatever is the situation, whatever is the location of the establishment most directly concerned with the receipt of the supply will be considered as the location of recipient of services. It means that if there are two places of business or two point of places where the supply of services has been forwarded, then in that case one will be considered as the location of the recipient of services, and that one location will be the location which is most directly concerned with the receipt of the supply. Maybe it is possible that one is the main branch office and other is the small office of the business, and service has been received in both the locations. Now the main branch has received major portion of the services, and the second branch has received a small part of the service, or the portion of supply of services that has been received in the main branches more and for the other branches less. Then the main branch is more directly concerned with the receipt of supply in comparison to the other branch. So that main branch will be considered as the location for the recipient of services. Fine. Then the last point says, in absence of such places, like which in absence of such places here means that if point A, point B, point C, all three points are not applicable, or you can say point A or B majorly is not applicable, then in that case the location of the usual place of residence of the recipient will become the location of recipient of services, which means that if there is not any particular place of business, there is no other place of business other than the place of business, then in that case, the location of the usual place of residence of the recipient will be considered as the location for the recipient of services. So in crux, if we say, so we can simply say this, that the location of the recipient of services will be considered first, its place of business where the supply of services has been forwarded, or other than any other place other than the place of business for which the registration has been obtained, that will become the location of the recipient of services. If the supply has been made more than one location, then in that case the location which is more directly connected with the recipient, with the supply of services, will be considered as the location. And in absence of point A and point B, if there is no registered place of business, there is no any other place of business other than the place of business which is registered, then it will be considered as the location of the usual place of residence of the recipient, as the location of recipient of services. I hope all these 4 points are clear. Now we'll move ahead with the next slide. So now we'll come to the place of supply of services under the general provisions. So we'll take up the general and the special provisions as per the section clause wise. So first it says, under the general provision, we have two categories. First, when the recipient is a registered person. So in reference to the general provisions, like there is no certain special circumstances, and in general circumstances we can say that if the recipient is a registered person, then the location of such registered person shall be the place of supply. Now what is this location of such registered person? For this location of such registered person, we have to refer these 4 points that we have discussed in this slide here. So when we say that when the recipient is a registered person, then the location of such registered person shall be the place of supply. It simply means that we have to consider at first the place of business. Then second, if there is no place of business, then any place of business which is registered So when we talk about the general provisions here, it has clearly mentioned that when the recipient is a registered person, then the location of such registered person shall be the place of supply. Then when the second point talks about when the recipient is the unregistered person, like it is the person who is not registered under GST, then in the such situation, the place of supply will still be the location of the recipient if the address of the recipient exists on record. So in this situation also, there will the location of supply of services will be the location of the recipient only. But the difference is that this location will not be the registered place of business of the person. It will be the location of the recipient that is available either in the records or the place of supply where the services have been offered. So that will be considered as the place of supply for the services. So as you can see in the last line, it has been written in bold that, however, in the case where the address of recipient does not exist on record, then place of supply would be the location of the supplier. So it says that if the recipient address is not existing, or it is not you are not able to assess what is the place of supply uh, for the recipient, then in that case the place of supply would be the location of the supplier itself. So when the recipient's place of business is not able to be assessed, then the last option left over is to consider the location of the supplier as the place of business. This is the general provision that we were talking about. Now coming to the specific provisions. Now, when we talk about the specific provisions, specific provisions here talks about certain special circumstances, or you can say the certain special category of services that are being offered and how to fix up the location of such special category services. So this is extending from section 12, subsection 3 to subsection 14, where we have different categories of services that are being offered and deciding on how to fix up the location of such services for the reference. So under this special or specific provisions, you can have first point here, which you see that services in relation to an immovable property, boat or vessel. This is section 12, subsection 3. Now, in this situation, we are talking about certain immovable properties or boat or vessel. Immovable property here means, like, for example, any sort of hotels you are taking the services of. Then in that case, the location of the hotel will be considered as the immovable property, and the location of the hotel will be considered as the place of supply. So suppose, for example, if Mr. X is a you can say a businessman, and he is a you can say is an employee, and for his business purpose he is moving from Delhi to Bombay, and he has taken a hotel stay in Bombay. Okay. Then the hotel stay in Bombay, he will be paying the GST for that. So that hotel stay will be considered as a service here, and it will be considered under section 12 subsection 3, where the hotel stay services will be chargeable under GST, and the location for such services will be considered as the location where this hotel is being located. So Bombay is the situation where the hotel is located. Therefore, Bombay is the place of supply for such services, and he needs to pay the GST tax as per the location of the hotel. So now, going further into this point, it says that if the location of immovable property, boat or vessel, is in India, then the location of such immovable property, boat or vessel will be considered as a place of supply. But suppose if such location is outside India, then in that case, the location of the recipient will be considered as a place of business. Like in this example, there can be one more example that there is a Mr. X is a rich businessman of Delhi, and he is hosting let's say a marriage party of his daughter in any location, and destination wedding is there, and he's organizing it in Udaipur, let's say. Right. So Udaipur is the location under Rajasthan. Now, in this situation, if he has hired that place for conducting the marriage of his daughter, then Udaipur will be considered as a place of supply. So, what all services he is taking up in the for organizing the event, that will also be having the place of supply of Udaipur, and also the immovable property, that is hotel or whatever location he has decided for the marriage, that will also be whatever GST tax he will be paying, that will also be considered as the place of supply of Udaipur only. So, such services where we are taking the services for a immovable property or boat or vessel, under that situation, the location of that immovable property, boat or vessel will be considered as a place of supply. Then coming to the next point, when we are talking about the restaurant service, then personal grooming, fitness, beauty, and health services. It talks about under section 12 subsection 4, and in this situation the location is where such services are actually performed, like restaurant services where the restaurant is located, that will be the place of supply. Like personal grooming or fitness services, or beauty or health services where these services have been actually performed, will be considered as a place of business. I hope these points are clear. Then moving ahead with the next point, that is training and performance appraisal. So training and performance appraisal, section 12 subsection 5, it says that where the training and performance appraisal services are concerned, we have to first assess that whether these services are under the category of B2B services or B2C supply. Like if it is B2B supply, then the location of the registered recipient, like B2B supply means business to business supply. So one is the business of giving the training and performance appraisal services, and other is the business who is receiving it. So the person who is receiving such services, they that business must be having some registered place of business, right? So location of such registered recipient will be considered as a place of supply, where this registered recipient is located. And when we are talking about, you have to remember this, that when we are talking about the location of registered recipient, we are talking about that 4 points that we have initially studied under the first slide of place of supply of services. So that is the first in preference we give to the registered place of business. Then we give the preference to the any other place which is registered other than the place of business. Then we will give the preference to the residential address of the recipient. So in the case of B2B supply, it is the location of registered recipient. And then if it is the category of B2C supply of services, then the location where the services are performed. So because B2C is the person where it might be possible that the C is not the registered person, then in that case, or in any other case also, under the category of B2C supply, the location will be where the services are actually performed by the uh, or you can say given by the owner or the supplier, you can say. Then talking about the next point, that is services by way of admission to events, amusement park or other places. It is section 12 subsection 6. Now in this category we can say that the place of supply of such services in the case where there are amusement park or by way of admission to the amusement park here, you have, or you can say services provided by way of admission to certain events here. We are giving admission to the certain events, we are distributing the chair tickets, etc. Then in that case, place where the event is actually held or where the park or other place is located. So any such locations, any such situation which falls under section 12 subsection 6, In that case, the place of supply will be the place of the amusement park or the place where the event has been actually held. So any such sort of services will have their designated place of business. Like event is held at which place, that will become the place of supply. Where the amusement park, if you are taking entry to the amusement park, then that will be considered as the place of supply of such services. Then coming to organization of events, section 12, subsection 7. Now the place of supply is dependent on whether the recipient is registered or unregistered in this situation. So we have to assess it as per the situation here. Now see, the first point says, in case the recipient is the registered person, then the place of supply will be the location of the recipient. Now, see, first let me tell you what is organization of events here. Organization of event here means that we are organizing any sort of, you can say, cultural or educational event. We are organizing any sort of exhibition, celebrations, conference, fair, or educational events. Entertainment events are there, sports events, artistic events are there. All such type of events that are being organized, that will fall under this category of section 12 subsection 7. Now in this situation, if you are organizing any sort of exhibition and you are a registered recipient, you are a registered recipient of the services, then in that case the place of supply will be the location of the recipient. So in case the recipient is a registered person, the place of supply will be the location of the recipient only. Then in case the recipient is an unregistered person, then the place of supply is the location where the event is actually held. Like suppose I'm organizing an event, and I'm an event management company and organizing an event, and I have organized the event in Delhi, though I am a registered person of let's say Bombay. So in this situation, if you are a registered person, though you are organizing the event at Delhi, but the place of supply will be considered at Bombay. But if you are an unregistered person, then in that case the place or the location where you are actually organizing that event will be considered as your place of supply. And next part of the point says, and if the event is actually held outside India, the place of supply is the location of the recipient. The place of supply will be the location of the recipient. Now location of the recipient here will be, since there is no registered place of business, therefore it is a unregistered person, then in that case it might be possible that the residential address of the recipient will be considered as the place of business, or the person who is supplying the goods will be considered accordingly as the place of business. Then last point, it says, in the event, if the event is held in more than one state, union territory, and a consolidated amount is charged for services relating to such event, then the place of supply of such services is deemed to be in each of the respective states or union territory in proportion to the value of services. So it says that if there are simultaneously two events are being organized in more than one state or in a union territory, then in that case the amount which is charged shall be proportionately divided into the states or the union territories as per the value of services provided for these states or the union territories. So I guess this is much for today. We can continue with the same content and consider the other special provision points in the next lecture. Thank you all.